Christmas by Violet Grace Lucille Walton. It was Christmas Eve. Outside, glittering white snowflakes fell softly to the ground. In Violet's house, everybody was very excited indeed. Violet was ordering people about. "Charlotte, can you do the washing up, please? I have to make dinner and I don't want a big pile of dirty dishes next to the sink when Daddy comes home." "Okay, Mummy," said Charlotte, putting her crocheting down. "I'll ask Neve to help you," said Violet. "It is a jolly lot to do yourself." "Neve!" called Violet from the bottom of the stairs. "Yes, Mummy," said Neve, coming down the stairs with a bundle of rubbish in her arms. "I'm tidying my room." "It is very good that you're tidying your room, Neve," said Violet, "but I would like you to help Charlotte do the washing up. You can finish tidying afterwards." So with Charlotte washing the dishes and Neve drying and putting them away, the job was done in hardly any time at all. While all that was happening, Hector and Lawrence were in the playroom telling each other what they would like for Christmas. "I am going to get a green dressing gown with blue and yellow and orange stripes on," said Lawrence with a grin on his face. "How do you know you're actually going to get a dressing gown like that?" asked Hector. "Just because I am," answered Lawrence. "Well, anyway," said Hector, wanting to change the subject, "I am going to get a new kangaroo watch." "And how do you know that you're actually going to get a watch like that?" asked Lawrence, which didn't really change the subject at all. "Just because," started Hector. "Hello, boys," said Violet, coming into the playroom. "Please could you two pick all the books off the library floor? Ned keeps pulling them off the shelves." "But Mum," said Hector, "I thought you did that this morning." "I did, but you know what Ned's like. He's pulling them off all the time." So Hector and Lawrence went into the library and... "Oh my!" said both of the boys together. There was such a mess of books everywhere. There were books all over the floor, books on the sofas, books under the shelves, and guess what was under the pile of cushions? Of course, Ned himself. He was just sitting there, looking like the cheekiest baby you've ever seen, and was holding Treasure Island in his little chubby hands. Hector and Lawrence started picking up the books one by one, until the room was perfectly tidy. Lawrence did a bit of hoovering, Hector put the cushions back on the sofas, and then he picked up Ned, and the three of them went out of the room. When Violet finally had Shirley tidying the living room floor, she didn't do a very good job of it, but that doesn't matter because she's only 3. And had fed Norma and given her to Charlotte and Neve to look after, even though they were wanting to go back to the things they were doing before washing up. Violet went into the kitchen to make dinner. When Bob came home, the smell of sausage and the sight of his children coming to greet him was very welcoming. Bob took off his boots and coat, which was covered with snow. He walked into the living room, and he and Hector made a fire. Everyone gathered round and sang a few Christmas carols. After that, the family sat at the table and said grace. Bob lit the candles and everyone ate their eggs and sausage. It was a bit of a simple dinner, but everyone enjoyed it anyway. When they had finished their dinner and had said after meal grace, Lawrence asked, "When is it time to go to midnight mass, Mummy? I just can't wait for it." Neither can I, shouted all the others, jumping up and down. Okay, said Violet. First we'll clear the table, do some reading, put our very special clothes on, and then we'll put our shoes and coats on and go to midnight mass. So they cleared everything off the table, walked into the library, sat down on the sofas and read. It was all very calm and quiet until Charlotte got up to a very scary bit in her book. Neve had finished her book. Hector kept losing a place in his book. Lawrence had had enough of being so quiet and still. Shirley was getting impatient with the carpet book. Bernie and Ned had started to make the room a tip, and Norma was crying her head off. So that was the end of quiet reading. Everyone walked upstairs and changed into their special clothes. When everyone had changed, they put their boots and coats on and walked out of the front door. The family walked together on the thick layer of snow which sparkled in the moonlight. They went to midnight mass, which was just glorious. When midnight mass was over, Violet and Bob trudged home in the snow with their 8 very tired little children. When they got to their house, they went straight upstairs, changed into their pyjamas, and snuggled up on the sofas with hot water bottles, eating mince pies with cream and drinking hot chocolate. Bob read The Night Before Christmas to everybody. Then Violet, Bob, Charlotte, Neve, Hector, Lawrence, Shirley, and Bernie put their stockings by the fire. Violet put Ned and Norma's stockings up for them because they couldn't do that themselves. Bob left a mince pie out for Father Christmas, and everyone walked slowly up the stairs. Violet and Bob took Charlotte, Neve, Hector, Lawrence, Shirley, Bernie, Ned, and Norma into bed. They said good night. Everyone went straight to sleep. It was Christmas morning. Outside, the snow had stopped falling, but the ground, the trees, the flower beds, and the cows were covered in snow. In the children's bedroom, Charlotte, Neve, and Hector were awake. Oh, it's Christmas Day, oh yes, it's Christmas Day, sang the 3 of them with big bright smiles on their faces. The singing woke the others up. Oh, I just can't believe it's actually Christmas, cried Lawrence joyfully. Shirley jumped out of bed. Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa-la-la-la-la, it's Christmas Day, she sang. Bernie stood up and looked around thoughtfully. Where is breakfast? I wonder if the tasty breakfast thing that Daddy got from the shop, he said. Oh, you mean panettone? Well, it's not time for breakfast yet, Bernie, said Charlotte. Why don't we go downstairs and see what's in our stockings? The lot of them got their special clothes on and went down the stairs. Merry Christmas, everybody, called Violet from the living room. You're very welcome to come and see what's in your stockings. The children ran excitedly into the living room. Mummy, Daddy, Ned, and Norma were sitting on the sofa. The room was all decorated with paper chains, snowflake garlands, and fairy lights, and the Christmas tree looked beautiful with its shiny red bubbles and the sparkly star at the top. Everyone was delighted with the things they got in their stockings. The children got tuning forks, a CD, stickers, notebooks, animal clearings, a DVD, beads, 2 plain blue children each, sparkly tape, an orange, chocolate coins, and some other wonderful things. Once everyone had put their things back into a large cardboard box which Bob had found in the attic, they sat at the table, which was laid with the beautiful china tea set which Violet's sister Ivy had given to Violet and Bob at their wedding. Everybody said grace, and each person got 2 large pieces of panettone and some lovely Christmas tea. "That was such a delicious breakfast," said Hector, patting his tummy. "Yes," said Neve, "it was very Christmassy." "Well, why don't we open the presents that you lot made for everyone now?" said Bob to the children. "Oh, yes, please," said Lawrence. "Charlotte says that the present for me from her is very good." "Yes, I spent quite a lot of time on it," said Charlotte. "And I think that you would really like the present that I made for you, Mummy," said Neve. "Of course I will, Neve," said Violet. "I'm sure I like the presents from all of you. Anyway, let's clear the table first." The family cleared the table. Then the children ran up to their bedroom and came down with the presents, which were wrapped up in all kinds of different beautiful Christmas wrapping paper. Everyone gathered in the living room to open the presents the children had made. Violet got a little felt angel from Charlotte, a beautiful flower garland from Neve, a bookmark saying Mum on from Hector, a picture of Violet and Lawrence from Lawrence, and a posy of dead flowers that Shirley had somehow managed to keep from the winter from Shirley. Bob got a bookmark from everyone, apart from Neve, who had made him a snowflake earring, and Bernie and Ed and Norma, who were not yet old enough to make presents. Charlotte got a knitted mug warmer from Neve, a bookmark saying Charlotte on from Hector, a flower clip from Lawrence. Neve did most of it. And a pretty bracelet made out of beautiful pearl beads from Shirley, which really was not that bad for a 3-year-old. Neve got a funny pink ball with googly eyes from Charlotte, a bookmark saying Neve on from Hector, and a necklace from Lawrence, but Shirley had had enough of making presents after making 3, so she only got presents for Violet, Bob, and Charlotte. Hector got a very good felt teddy from Charlotte, a good made-up story from Neve, and a toilet roll decorated with stickers for a telescope from Lawrence. Lawrence got a wonderful crocheted penguin that he'd been looking forward to getting from Charlotte, a cushion from Neve, and a bookmark saying Lawrence on from Hector. Shirley got a pink teddy from Lawrence, a bow clip from Neve, a bookmark saying Shirley on from Hector, and a piece of paper with a funny dot on from Lawrence. Bernie got a crocheted duck from Charlotte, a book with pictures of animals in from Neve, a piece of paper saying Bernie on with a lot of glitter glue from Hector, and a teddy with a lot of help from Charlotte from Lawrence. Ned got a rabbit that Charlotte crocheted from a book with pictures of animals and babies in from Neve, a felt decoration from Hector, and a hammer bead heart with an N in the middle from Lawrence. Norma got a wonderfully knitted patchwork blanket from Charlotte, Neve and Hector, and a picture of snowman from Lawrence. So, of course, everybody loves their presents from each other. Violet looked at the eldest three. "I'm just amazed with the patchwork blanket you made for Norma," she exclaimed as she wrapped it round the baby. "I have got 4 new bookmarks," said Bob. "Now I just need 4 new books." "Now then, everyone," said Violet, "it's time to go and deliver presents to everybody now." "Oh, hang on a moment," said Bob. "I'll just get the sledge out of the shed to put the presents on." And he went to the shed and got the sledge. Everybody got their coats, boots, hats, scarves and gloves on and went out of the front door. As they walked up the path, they sang, "We wish you a Merry Christmas." They put presents at Auntie Ivy's doorstep, Auntie Rosabel's doorstep, Auntie Eva's doorstep, and Grandma and Grandpa's doorstep. When they got back home, Bob put the sledge back in the shed. "Phew," he said. "That sledge was quite heavy, especially with Ned on it." Everyone went inside. "What shall we do?" said Lawrence. "I know," remarked Neve, rushing to the coat cupboard. "Why don't we go outside and make a snowman?" Violet quickly got a bag of carrots and a bag of coal. Everyone put their boots, coats, hats, gloves and scarves on and went into the garden. "This is great," said Hector as he ran across the snow-covered garden. Ned went about eating the snow. "Yuck," said Charlotte. "Don't eat snow, Ned." "Let's start making our snowman," said Neve. Bob, Violet, Charlotte, Neve, Hector, Lawrence, Shirley and Bernie started rolling big balls. "Do you realise that snowmen don't have 8 parts?" said Charlotte. "They only have 2 or 3. "Oh," said Hector. "We could always make one each," said Violet. "But there might not be enough snow to make one each," said Neve. "Well, I think there will be," said Violet as she looked at her watch. I have to put the goose in the oven." So she and Norma went in. Everyone else started making their snowmen. "Look at mine," said Bernie. Everyone looked. It was a medium-sized clump of snow with 2 not very matching sticks for arms, a small fat carrot for the nose and 2 extremely big coals for eyes. Everyone made good ones too. Bob's one was 2 very round balls with matching sticks for arms, 2 different sized coals for eyes, and a long skinny carrot for the nose. Quite a lot like Bob's nose. Well, everyone else's are superb too. Charlotte, Neve and Lawrence have used 2 balls for their snowman, and Hector and Shirley have used 3. But they all looked completely different. After a wonderful snowball fight, everyone was as freezing as their own snowman. They went inside, took their coats, boots, hats, gloves and scarves off and warmed themselves by the fire. "It is time for lunch now, everybody," called Violet from the kitchen as she took the goose out of the oven. "Please do sit down at the table." They sat down at the table and said grace. It was a great meal. There was goose, gravy, sprouts, carrots and potatoes. "I'm full," said Neve when the meal was over. "So am I," said Hector and Lawrence. "Well, I'm not surprised," said Bob. "Can we open the presents from you now, Mummy?" said Charlotte. "Please." "Yes," said Violet. "I was just about to suggest that." So they all cleared the table and sat down in the living room. Norma was the youngest, so she got her presents first. They were a rattle, a pinafore which was a bit too big, and a bear hat. Ned got a rolling line, a book and a Jack-in-the-Box. Bernie got 2 books, some Playmobil and a caterpillar toy. Shirley got 2 books, some Playmobil and a pair of slippers. Lawrence got some fabric, some Playmobil, 3 books, fluffy socks and a fluffy blue dressing gown. It wasn't a green one with blue and orange and yellow straps on, but he was too excited to be disappointed. Hector got a pair of slippers, some Playmobil, 3 books, a toy ship and a kangaroo watch. Hector wasn't too sure if he would actually get it. Neve got 5 books, some Playmobil, sparkly flower clips, fabric and dolls' clothes. Charlotte got 4 books, some Playmobil, some jewellery and some fabric. Violet got a lot of books, a new scarf, a necklace and 2 CDs. Bob got a lot of books, much more than 4, 2 CDs, a mug and a woolly hat. They got a few more things, but that is most of them. Bob cleared the rubbish away. "I do think it's time to go to Vespers now," he said. "Yes," said Violet. "Children, you can play with your new things after we've gone to Vespers. Come and get your shoes and coats on, please." Everyone got their shoes and coats on and walked out of the front door. "It is snowing again," said Charlotte with excitement as she opened the front door. And indeed it was. The family made their way to church. Violet pushed Norma in the pram, Bob carried Ned, and everyone else walked. Vespers was glorious. When they got back to their snuggly, warm and comfortable home, The children played with their new things for a while. Bob read his new books, and Violet set the table. And then it was dinner. Well, it was not really dinner. It was more like pudding. There was mince pies and Christmas pudding. It was very tasty. They had some wine too. And everyone said, "Merry Christmas." The end.
Just you can't see the pom-pom on Thingy's hat.
No, but if you don't, you can't see the name Bernie.